This workshop is on how to write a compelling cover letter. And before we dive in, I want to preface by saying that this is just an introduction to how to feel more confident with writing a strong cover letter. But to please feel free to rely on our career and internship center's resources and career coaching appointments for further support with your letter. What is a cover letter? So, essentially, a cover letter is a persuasive essay with supporting evidence. What is that evidence? The evidence is intended for the employer to really understand why you are interested in the particular position you are applying to, why you are the best candidate, how you meet the qualifications of the role. And all of these pieces of evidence are really important because the employer only knows about you based off of what you tell them. And the more you can share with an employer about your true, genuine interest and commitment to the role, as well as the specific skills that will make you a strong candidate, the easier it is for the employer to see that you actually are somebody very much worth considering. The cover letter should not be viewed as a summary of your resume, but rather a supplement to it. So you want to dive a little bit deeper into some of those experiences you do mention in your resume and how they've given you the skills and the knowledge and confidence to really meet and exceed the job's expectations of you. The cover letter also serves as an example of your writing abilities. So, in pretty much every job you will have, there will be some element of writing, even if it is just through emails. So, the employers are going to be looking to see if your writing is clear and concise, and you are also able to communicate your thoughts and ideas in a way that resonates with them. So, the first step before even starting to write the cover letter is to intentionally reflect and brainstorm on how you want to approach it. So, doing your research on the company and position so that you become a mini expert in both the company and the position you're applying to is going to be really imperative. You want to show that you have a strong understanding of the mission and the values of the company or organization that you're applying to, the clients or populations that are being served in the role, if relevant. You want to show that you have a strong understanding of the actual role itself and to really prioritize talking about the skills you have that are also what is needed for you to be a strong candidate for the role. You can really find all the information necessary to present these in your letter through researching the company website, and that can include their social media pages, newsletters if they have them, LinkedIn pages, as well as receiving anecdotes and insights from current staff or previous staff from said company or organization. And that is where the networking and connecting with current or past employees is really important. And the things you learn from connections can directly go into your cover letter to showcase your strong understanding of the role and what the company cares about. You really want to make sure that your cover letter is putting your best foot forward and really focusing on the same skills and strengths that are a top priority of the position. So, you want to make sure that you have a full understanding of the scope of the role, which the job description really lays out in many cases. You want to be able to identify the core skills and qualities in the responsibilities or duties section of the job description and be able to explicitly talk about those in your own cover letter. Because, of course, that is what the employer is going to be looking for. And you want to give the employer as much information and evidence as possible that you are a great fit for the role. So it'll be important for you to decide based on the job description which skills to prioritize, extrapolating in your cover letter. Usually that will be two or three top skills. And then you're going to want to make sure that you are describing how you have implemented these skills with concrete examples. So you can write little stories about past experiences where you have demonstrated these skills. You want to make sure you're asking yourself and writing about the actions that you took, what the results and positive impacts were because of those actions, and what skills those very actions and stories and pieces of evidence demonstrate. And you want to make sure that you're not just saying what you've done in the past, but also how it is very much connected to the role you're applying to. You can ask yourself, what were the parallels between what I did in my past internship or past job and the position I'm applying to? How will what I've done in the past make me prepared and successful for this role that I'm now applying to? And that's what you want to make sure you are relating each of your pieces of evidence back to. Because, of course, the employer is going to want to see that what you are telling them is intentional, and showing them that you are intentionally sharing the story you're sharing is a good thing. You want to make the connections as clear as possible for the reader so that they are not left with any doubt that you have what it takes to be successful in their role. To the writing piece of the cover letter after you've brainstormed and game planned. So the formatting itself should be 11 to 12 point font, easy to read. Your Times, Arial, or Calibri fonts are more than okay. Your cover letter should always be 1 page maximum unless specified otherwise in the application. Standard 1 inch margins and a business letter format is common, but other formats can be found on the career and internship website. Here is what your cover letter can look like um, externally. So your header can match the header that you have in your resume to show alignment. And you will then want to include the date. It's optional to include the recruiter name and the position and the company name you're applying to, since you'll probably be submitting this online in the application portal. But you will definitely want to always include a salutation, an opening paragraph, a couple of body paragraphs, and a closing paragraph. We're going to dive into each of those now. So your opening paragraph. So dear hiring manager or hiring committee, or the name of the person if you have it. Those are the most professional and ideal ways to open up your salutation. In the opening paragraph, this is your chance to really showcase your genuine interest and passion, if that is true to you, and commitment to the work that is being done in the role and or the company you're applying to. And you really want to also mention how your own values and opinions and perspectives and skills are in alignment with this position as much as possible. And this can come from both your professional and your personal experiences. Um, a lot of times companies will really value what they call lived experience of their candidates, which means that if you are someone who perhaps holds the same identities of those that the position would be serving or working with, they would really value that, and this would be a great place to talk about that. If you discovered your job through speaking with a connection or a recruiter or received a referral or even met one of the hiring individuals at the career fair, this is also a great place to include that. And of course, um, asking yourself, what really is my personal connection and interest in this work? What is my stake in this? What kinds of impacts do I want to be making long term that are aligned with what the role cares about? Um, Making sure that you emphasize all of that in your opening paragraph will allow the employer to gain a little bit of trust in you that you really are here for not just the paycheck and not just to advance your career, but really that you're going to be committed to advancing the overall mission of the work. So this is how a opening paragraph can look like. What is highlighted in blue is the genuine interest and passion, as well as referencing where they learned about the position, which was from a particular um, recruiter from a info event, um, and a little thesis statement, if you will. Um, the last sentence will really set the reader up to learn about, to see what is going to be expressed in the body paragraphs. So this thesis statement is a great way to summarize what the reader can expect to learn more about from you. Your middle or body paragraphs. So, this is again where you can share a few strong examples of how you have been successful using the top skills that the job requires. You will definitely want to make sure that you are including and describing the impacts for each story and making sure that you can quantify those if possible. So, if you planned an event, you want to talk about how many people you planned that event for. If your actions led to saving time at the company or led to being more efficient, how much time was being saved? How many more people were you able to serve because of your efficiency? And of course, connecting the skills back to the job. So if you want to pause your screen here, this is where you can read how you can set up one of your body paragraphs. In the red are the skills that are being prioritized of the job that this person is applying to, and the purple are the impacts from the skills being used. And lastly, your closing paragraph. Reiterating your interest in and alignment with the role, as well as communicating that you have a strong desire to discuss your qualifications further with the employer, and thanking the reader, of course, for their time and consideration. And if you pause here, you can read through how you can set this up. Very brief, but meaningful and gets the point across. It would be remiss not to mention how AI can be helpful with writing your cover letter because AI really can be an incredible tool to support you with learning how to best communicate your thoughts and putting them into a professional letter that is the cover letter. So on the left hand side, we have effective prompts that you can use to help generate ideas for writing your cover letter, where ChatGPT, for example, can help you dictate what are the top skills that this job needs me to have. And how can I write about those from my past experiences? Now, of course, ChatGPT or any other AI won't be able to know what your past experiences are unless you tell them. So that's why we encourage you to include things like your resume, as well as the actual job description if you are going to be using ChatGPT as a support for writing or support for writing the cover letter. Um, and so you can pause to read through those three prompts on the left. And considerations and limitations are also really important to bring up. It's really important that you remind yourself that ChatGPT can never be a full replacement of your own voice and your own writing. So it can elevate, it can absolutely give you great ideas, but it doesn't actually know you at the end of the day. And you want to make sure you're personalizing your letter as much as possible. And also, ChatGPT will not be able to give true, accurate evidence if you just tell it to write me a cover letter, right? So ChatGPT will actually sometimes make up statistics or results if you do not tell them what results and impacts from your past work have been. So really making sure that all your information is accurate and true. Really making sure you're adding relevant details. More importantly, that you're customizing the letter to the job itself. Um, so that you can showcase that you have a strong understanding of the role and the position. And AI tools can make spelling mistakes and other errors. So please make sure to proofread and make any necessary changes. And We very much encourage you to utilize the resources you have access to on campus and online. So, if you are a current student of the UW, you have access to making appointments with the Odegaard Writing Center, and they can be very helpful with improving your writing skills, especially for the cover letter. We have an entire cover letter resources section on our careers.uw.edu page. We also encourage you to utilize one of our AI tools that we have partnered with called JobScan to support with your resume and cover letter writing. I mentioned ChatGPT as a starting off point and to help throughout the writing process, but never just simply copy and pasting what ChatGPT has written for you. And of course, please feel free to make a career coaching appointment with any of our career coaches at our center if you are a current student or alumni from the last 3 years. Thank you, and we wish you the best of luck with writing your letter.